A new pro-life organization is launching to develop new strategies to fight pro-abortion sentiment, both legislatively and culturally. The Life Leadership Conference will be a hub for the exchange of information and ideas to help pro-life organizations adapt to the altered landscape of fighting for the preborn. The conference is accompanied by the creation of a $30 million pro-life venture fund to spend on member projects to reduce the number of unborn children killed by abortion. The new coalition will be led by a well-respected leader in the pro-life movement, David Bereit, who joins us now to discuss his hopes for this new venture. David, why did you think it was necessary to build this conference, and what stage is it in right now?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on and for this opportunity to share the good news of what is happening in the pro-life movement right now. Particularly since the Dobbs decision reversed Roe versus Wade just 2.5 years ago, we have seen the Supreme Court send the decision about abortion back to you and me, the American people, through our elected officials in the states and in Congress. And so we've had this seismic shift in the landscape of the pro-life movement to where today we have 50 unique state-by-state battles. And regrettably, in this post-Roe landscape, we still see abortions numbering well over 1 million per year, children dying, women being wounded. We see people flooding across state borders from pro-life states to pro-abortion states. We see the proliferation of abortion pills. And in the midst of this, we can't keep operating as a movement in the pre-Dobbs world. We have to really focus on how do we operate in this new landscape. And it's important to recognize that we have this beautiful tapestry of the organic growth of all of these independent pro-life organizations and leaders and efforts. But when we don't work together, it actually dilutes our overall impact. And so in this post-Roe climate, it's more important than ever before that we strategically coordinate. And so the Life Leadership Conference was formed out of the desire of many national and state pro-life leaders to say, how do we work together more cohesively? How do we strategize? How do we coordinate our efforts? How do we mobilize together? How do we identify the messaging that will work in different situations? And how do we fund and develop these efforts so they can achieve greater impact? And so that's where the Pro-Life Venture Fund, the $30 million, was pulled together by philanthropists to say, if we can leverage the entirety of the pro-life movement working together, we can achieve so much more than if we work independently. I could not be more excited after 20 plus years of working on the front lines of the pro-life movement. This is a project that has been needed for decades, and I'm so excited to see it finally happening.
It is exciting. And can you share where exactly will the money of this fund be going to?
Yes, so it's going to be two different things we're working on at this very moment. And we're in the very earliest stages of setting up the Life Leadership Conference and the Pro-Life Venture Fund, which probably will have far more than the initial $30 million because philanthropists are coming out of the woodwork saying, we want to get behind efforts that can drive the collective impact of the entire pro-life movement. But initially, what we're trying to do is identify who will be at the table, the organizations that will be invited to be members of the Leadership Conference. We've been in conversations with many of the leading national organizations, many state organizations. I've been on phone calls and communicating with people over this last week since the news broke about this initiative. So identifying who are high impact organizations that are already achieving results, who, if given more resources, could achieve even greater impact. And so once we identify that, bringing them together, identifying key strategic initiatives, some of which will drive down the supply side of the abortion economic equation, and some of them will drive down the demand side, and other projects will focus specifically on culture shift. How do we shift public opinion? How do we change hearts and minds? And how do we bolster the capacity and the resources and the awareness around our pregnancy centers and maternity homes? So these are a few of the key projects that will be funded through this initial launch of the Life Leadership Conference and the Pro-Life Venture Fund. And we look forward to taking this as step one and seeing where it goes, what projects can be considered and developed and built out over the next few years.
And David, can you share any of the names of these organizations you've been speaking with?
We have spoken with just about all of the major players in the national organizations, but because we've not formalized the membership yet, I'm hesitant to say who has been in the conversations, but I will say just about the who's who of national pro-life leaders and many of the high-impact influencers that are driving the pro-life movement right now are going to be a part of this collaborative, and it is going to be exciting. So over the next few weeks, we'll be announcing the initial round of members as we forge this coalition together, and then we can't wait to launch some of these projects and get more more victories on the board for the pro-life movement. We can't keep losing like we've been doing far too much since the Dobbs decision. 17 times abortion has been on state ballots. We've lost 14 of those times. We need to start winning more and more and working together with leaders, organizations, philanthropists, and advocates. I believe we can achieve unprecedented success and save more lives and impact more hearts and minds.
That's incredible, David. Is there anything else that you want to share with us before we let you go?
I would just say for the person who's watching us right now, please keep this effort in your prayers, because certainly this is going to face spiritual attack. Trying to get all of these different facets of the movement working more cohesively together is a daunting challenge, but one that we recognize the time has come and the need is here for this to happen. And so I would ask for your prayers. And also, if you know people who lead pro-life efforts, from local efforts in your parish and your community all the way up to national organizations, let them know about the development of this effort. And we would love to consider linking arms and partnering with all leaders, organizations, philanthropists, and advocates across the movement.
Thank you, David. We'll certainly keep you in our prayers.
Thank you so much.